Can you hear me? Yes, good. Welcome everyone. Tuesday, 4:45. No, 4:30 Pacific time. Uh well, here we are again. I wanted to read something from a little pamphlet that I received when I was in Tiruvannamalai 20 something years ago. He's just trying to use an example, like many times. And so here it goes. If you're new here, the way we see or express non-duality is more of a negation of what we're assuming to be so, not from what we're assuming to be so, but from what we are. Yeah. So by seeing what you're not, there's a finding out of what you are, which is the seeing of what you're not, really. That's basically as far as a description you can get. Here is the seeing of what you're not is what you are. Yeah. So, and being ourselves reality, as Ramana has stated many times, it's obvious that there must be something going on if that's not clear to, or as us, not clear to us. That's what's going on. There's a desire for it to be clear to us instead of recognizing it's clear as us. But yeah, so without that clarity being obvious here in this experience, it wouldn't really be efficient to keep hearing descriptions of what we are, because that doesn't seem to work. Yeah, because what you're not just keeps getting reinstalled and reinforced, because it's presented as the one who's hearing the message of what you are. So what you're not here's the message of what you are, and therefore it makes concepts from it. Yeah, that's all it can do. And its highest level, being what it thinks it already is to know what you are as some other topic than what you are. Yeah. So the only way you're going to understand what you are from what you're not is a conceptual understanding that's actually going to reinforce what you're not bring an illumination of what you are. Yeah, that's the assumption. And comes out of, instantaneous observation over a long span of time where I saw the futility of all that. So here he's using the example of a mirror, which is used quite a lot. So in some Buddhism, they believe the essence of mind is empty. Its nature is reflective, sort of like a mirror, and its manifestation is energetic. Yeah. So the dreaming is of energy taking appearance. So here he goes. For instance, you see a reflection in the mirror. Okay. You know the mirror to be the reality, and the picture in it is a mere reflection. Is it necessary that to see the mirror, one should cease to see the reflection in it? In other words, the only way you're going to get what you are is to be completely empty of the activity of what you're not. This is an absurd understanding, really. Yeah. For you to get that you're the mirror doesn't have to be, it's a pretty fucking long road to where you already are if the head has you believing that there can be no reflections in the mirror for you to see or be the mirror. Yeah. The nature of the mirror is to reflect, and that's what it's doing. Yeah. So he's saying here, you know the mirror to be the reality and the picture in it a mere reflection. Is it necessary that to see the mirror, one should cease to see the reflection in it? Or again, take the screen. There is a screen. On that screen, first a figure appears. Before that figure on the same screen other pictures appear. And the first figure goes on watching the other pictures. if you are the screen and know yourself to be the screen, is it necessary not to see the first figure and the subsequent pictures? Just sort of like we shared last week, I have a knowledge, I'm not repeating it every second, that I have a house. Do I lose that knowledge when I go to work? No, while I'm at work, there's a knowledge. I'm not chanting, I have a house, I have a house, I have a house. There's an unspoken, it's not necessary to speak it. There's a knowing that I have a house. Yeah. So for me to know that I have a house, does that mean I can't go anywhere else? I just have to be in the house? Of course not. Yeah. So I go to work. I don't have to be chanting all day. I have a house, I have a house, I have a house. I know I have a house. So the same thing here. It's talking about for us to recognize where the screen, there has to be no appearances at all on it. Yeah. Which is completely setting you up for abject failure because it's never going to appear that way. Yeah. Because what's seeing all the other appearances, because you seem to be the first one on the screen, there's a forgetting that you're an appearance and you're seeing all the other appearance, taking yourself to be real. Like Ramana used to use an example of someone sitting in a movie theater and they're watching the movie and they get the movie is not real, but they're assuming that it's real them sitting in the movie theater seeing the unreality of it. You're captured in that movie. You're not outside of the movie observing the unreality. That sense of you sitting there observing the unreality is part of the unreality. Yeah. There's an appearance in the screen. You are not the appearance on the screen. Yeah. That's what gets negated. We don't even talk about describing the screen because if you see a screen without a movie, it's pretty empty. Yeah. There's really nothing going on. So for us, we don't need to describe the screen. We've got to describe you're not the character appearing on the screen. That's all. And if it lands, there'll be a sense of screenness. Yeah. While all the appearances are going on, you're never going to see the screen because you are the screen. Yeah. The screen isn't going to appear in the movie. There may be screens in the movie, but the screen isn't going to appear in the movie. It's what's allowing the movie to appear. Yeah. So it's just a clear direction, it's clear pointing. Let's look at the character or that which is appearing on the screen and maybe realizing it's not true, then the truth of the screen will bleed through the movie. Yes. So the knowingness of the screen will bleed through the movie. And then you appearing as a character will have a sense of the screen. Yes? So there'll be no conditions or requirements necessary for the characters on the screen to meet to be the screen. Yes? The screen would override the influence of the characters. The characters would not override the influence of the screen. It's very, very important in a way because this point gets lost. Yeah, I remember a lady got in touch with me and she said, I've completely lost my ego, but everyone else's ego is bothering me. Yeah, this is sort of like that appearance on the screen that starts seeing everything else as an appearance, but there's an assumption that it's real as the appearance on the screen. Yeah. These are the warnings because you don't have to move. You want to sort of have any movement like stopped. Yeah. Stopped. Yeah. So it doesn't get momentum and add time and space to it. Like in Zen, they would say, a flash of an eyelid can be 10,000 miles, or 10,000 years. The head can play a lot. It's sort of like in recovery, we can see alcoholism like a big dog, and now the big dog's asleep. I'm in recovery, and the big dog isn't running the house anymore. It's in the house. It's pretty big. It still is. Yeah, it has the potential, but as long as it's sleeping, I can live in my house and run around. I don't want to be teasing it with bones, on string all day, because as soon as it wakes up, I'm in a completely different condition. This is the way, if you give a reality to one appearance, it's going to take a reality of thousands of appearances. Yes? So there's no need. You can't see the screen, the mirror anyway. All you see really, because the mirror is a bad example because there's nothing there, you see appearances all day. So why don't we use what's actually appearing to lead to the truth instead of trying to give the truth of obstruction to the appearances? Yeah? Why don't we just look from it in another way? If I'm not that, you may come to a conclusion that's that. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Is it in the Course in Miracles? They call it like level confusion. So we used to use the example: someone has heard of non-duality, and they're in a situation where their house is on fire, they're getting super hot, and they keep saying to themselves, "There is no fire, there is no house." Yes, that person needs a pail of water. Yeah, the application of that message from that level is not working. Yeah, get a pail of water, put out the fire, and then maybe someone will point out that you seem to be at every fire that you seem to be in. Yeah, and then you start recognizing certain stuff. Yeah, but first, put out the fire. Yeah, so this is all about that. People are waiting to have no thought to recognize they're not a thinker. You can recognize you're not the thinker with flurries of thoughts all day. Yeah. There doesn't need to be a requirement necessary. The requirement necessary is the direction of the message, which is negation. That's the requirement. So whatever's coming up, you see it, but you don't see it as you. You see a you being produced from it. Yeah. You don't have to see it all day. I don't have to, carry pictures of my home when I go to overtime at work. Time isn't going to convince me that I don't have a home. If I'm working at 5 and I got to stay in the night shift, do I have to have pictures? I have a home. I have a home. Do you? Who is it that's getting reminded? Who is it that constantly needs to remember? Yeah. That's not us. Yeah. We're not us that tries to remember and constantly forgets. We are not that. Yeah. See it from there. Then all your plans of trying to remember while you have a habit of forgetting, you'll lose interest in it all. Yeah? The head will forget constantly, but what you are doesn't. The head tries to remember a lot, and what you are doesn't. Yeah? Why is it that we're so sure this activity that has tons of holes in it is what's really the true continuum, when that which is always available at all times gets overlooked? Yeah, we must be looking through the self-centered telescope. We're not going to find anything that way. Yeah, recognize the bogusness of what your whole life is dependent and relying on. Yeah, and let the house of cards fall. You're the only thing that's holding it up. Yeah, the house of cards will constantly appear, but all that needed to see their house of cards is that one fall, just one fall. Yeah, everything gets revealed. Yeah, you see how shaky it is. You are the foundation of the house of cards. What you're not. Yeah, how is that going to leave? So, I didn't hear this when I came into non-duality. I went off on flowery concepts and, thinking, the void. Where is it? In Nebraska, Iowa, there's no place called the void. Emptiness means it's empty of everything. Yeah, there's not even, it was full once, now it's empty. That's how I can recognize it. No, empty. Yeah, so I always come back to this because I really humbly feel if you don't see this mental activity, you're going to look from it. Yeah. And then that which is always available at all times and is right now will be made into something. Yes. And it'll have you involved in it. You'll be the biggest part of it, where you're the absence of it, really. Yeah. You're the seeming absence of that presence. This activity of Pauling, selfing. Yeah. So and maybe you don't think you don't get it or whatever. If you stick with it, I have faith in the message. Yeah. I just do. I mean, all the work I did was before I heard it. If I did was any work I did, because it just disarmed me. And through satsang, it got fortified. Yeah. By hearing it, it fortified itself. Yeah. To the point, there was a point of being convinced on certain primary points. And then when the house of card reappeared, which it will, I didn't see any foundation under it. Yeah, because I used to be the foundation under it. The faith and belief in it was the foundation that it rested on. Yeah. When that was extracted, when there was a loss of interest in it, it still appears, but it's very, very shaky. Yes. Because you're resting on hallowed ground. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyone, honey? Yeah.
So, Paul,
Yes.
So sometimes I feel like I miss the message completely, but so there's discussion about awareness being the watcher. But maybe that's not a step far enough back, because maybe that's sitting in the audience watching the screen and
Yes.
thinking there's somebody watching the screen. So
that's what it implies, that example. Yes.
And I'm sure it's egoic to say, well, how do I step back from that?
Well, you don't. That's the stepping back from it.
Okay, I know. That doesn't help though. That doesn't seem to help.
Well, it will.
Okay.
Yeah. It's sort of like there's the drilling, and then there's that moment it breaks through. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The whole point of it's sort of like a Chinese water torture. It's drip, 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 and then you're the ocean, so to speak. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I wanted to stay on this thing because let's say awareness isn't volitionally watching, it's just aware. Yeah. So you could say watching, but the idea of a watcher implies some stagnant thing that has a quality or an attribute.
Right.
I don't see it that way. I don't like art that much in the English language. Watching, yes. Watcher, no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Being, yes. The being, no. Yeah. Yeah. That's how my feeling, because it's a flavor you got to get used to again. Verbing doesn't have as much uh, like periods and commas and explanation and exclamation points used in it. It's getting its communication right through in the act of verbing. Yeah, it doesn't need. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
You'll
Yeah.
it sort of leaks in another way than it may use the same mental mail slot, but it doesn't come in the same. It's different. When you open up the envelope, it's nothing, and that's really the gift. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay.
I have
Thank you.
faith in it, honey, and if not, we feel it. At least you'll get some comedic retreat, relief here. Anyway, so we throw a bone in there just in case it seems to be dry. At least we'll have some laughs
Thank you, Paul.
for Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, yeah. I'm very happy to have met you, Connie, and I think you're captured, and everyone here is captured by the statement in the course. Mind's purpose cannot be defeated. Yeah. The means that it arrives at that purpose through the dreaming can take a lot of time and may entail a lot of heavy lifting. You can escape that if you like. Yeah. By
Yes.
thinking of like, I need do nothing, that realization of the Course in Miracles. So, and it does, and ultimately it doesn't matter, does it? Because uh, no matter what time we arrive, it's always now. Yeah. And wherever we think it's going to be, it's here. So there you go.
All is well.
Yeah, all is well, and it can be really shitty also at the same time. Really shitty, but it's in the context all is well. It's not a battle between two bands, the Celestial Band and the Grunge Band. There's the Grunge Band playing, and then there's the Celestial Band playing at the same time. Yeah, one is included in the larger Celestial Band. The Grunge Band, to be the Grunge Band, just doesn't think so. It thinks it's hugely different. It's just like in this world. Uh, do you remember the movie The Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very cool, the first one. Now, I think the second or the third one, and I'm probably going to really turn it into something completely different than it was presented as, but there's this point where Neo is now, the savior, right? The chosen one, this guy.
Right.
Looks the part. He's got long leather jacket with Ray-Bans, very, very cool looking, the one. And he goes somehow, he's led to uh, this appearance of one of the main aspects of the programming called the architect. Yeah. And he
Right.
walks into this room, and this older guy sitting in a chair, very chilled out, and there's little TVs all in both walls of Neo as the action figure, leaping over thing, kicking Mr. Smith's ass or whatever. And so he goes, "Hello, Neo," and Neo's a little surprised. He thinks he's surprised the architect. The architect knew full well all about Neo, and he says, "Oh, Neo, you're the new savior or something." And Neo's like, "What?" And he says, "Oh yeah, you're the seventh one." Yeah. The program at one time had an aberration. It included it, and now here we go. You're number 7 on the Savior hit parade. And now Neo, basically, the whole point was he's so special. It was like, he says, "Oh yeah, we've had enough of you guys, and you're all included in the whole thing. You're not. Yes, you're not. You're in, the Savior's included in the whole situation. So this is sort of the case. Yeah."
Okay.
Yeah, and so, uh, like the great wisdom of no escape is you can't escape from an imaginary place, or you're outmatched or defeated. It's not a bad attitude to have. Yeah, it really isn't. You're not going to think yourself into out of shit or into shit. Really, you'll think yourself into a lot of shit, but not out. Yeah, and you have to come to a point that all of Paul, as far as I know, cannot get it. Yeah. Yeah. That's the deterrent, is the identification as Paul wants to be there to experience its absence of Paul. It's not available. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's that feeling of Paul that lays meaning on everything. As soon as you walk in, before you, there's no volition involved in it. It's just what happens. So coming to the futility of using that to escape that is just, it's to me, what's really necessary here are more rude awakenings, not the celestial fucking peak experience awakenings, coming to recognize actually the situation that's appearing. Yeah. You're trying to use, you're like at that amusement park with the crane and you're trying to pick the bunny and you can't grab it because all of your attributes can't pick up what's already here, can't pick up everywhere. Yes, it doesn't get it. That's a great day to recognize that. Yeah.
So at some point this wasn't so slippery for you, right?
The what?
At some point, this wasn't so slippery for you, right? This is slippery for me.
Oh yeah. It's not slippery. No. What you feel is slippery is actually very solid. Yeah. But we're just, our like, what's going to the store is rips up our list and it's just buying its own shit. Yeah. So it's telling you it's incredibly slippery and very dangerous to transverse this infinite space on having never left. You haven't gone anywhere. There's no mountains to climb or shit like that. We used an example, Connie. Did we share the snake and the skin story?
Yeah.
Yes, remember? So the skin has an idea. It knows deeply that it's the skin, but it's living a life as if it's the snake, yes? And the skin is jacked into the little snake brain, and it's telling the snake, to look out for your skin. I mean, that's the most important aspect of you is the skin. Get the best moisturizers, everything that would support its agenda through the whole snake world. Yeah. So the snake every year, there's an event that happens. It's not volitional, obviously. There's a molting of the skin, and then the snake gets new skin, new scales and stuff. And so this thing is starting to come about, yeah. And the skin's its anxiety meter goes up, and it's realizing, Jesus Christ, yeah. So it starts playing in the head very loud, and it's telling the snake, put a lot of moisturizer on. Don't go out. Watch out for that rock. Don't go over that. And so you're living for the skin's point of view, yeah. Now, to the snake, it's going to be great when it loses the old skin because it's very, very pale. It's not attracting female snakes. It's traveling heavy. It's getting stuck on rocks all the time. Yes? Feels heavy. It's going to be hallelujah to the snake, but to the skin, it's Armageddon. These two possibilities are in us. Yeah? We're listening mostly to the skin's point of view. We're not hearing from the snake because we are actually the snake. Yeah. The snake is not talking to itself. You would think being the snake would override all the talking to it. But in this case, in time, it seems like we've fallen down that rabbit hole. Seems like it appears to us. Yeah. So now the skin is the dominant influence in the snake's life. Yeah. And it wants to veer away from anything that threatens its position. Yeah. So when it's telling you it's impossible for you not to be a body, it's talking as the body. It's like an advertisement. It's selling you the product and convincing you to keep the product, basically. There's no way you're going anywhere without me. All that, yes? Yeah. But if you start getting man, what keeps the emphasis on the skin, even though the snake is really what is this a huge inordinate amount of attention and interest. Yeah. And now, if I try to lose interest in the skin, I'm losing interest in the skin as the skin, which is reinforcing the skin. Yeah. So these are you need to know and maybe see if that's exactly what's going on. Yeah. And if it is and you collapse and just give up, things can change. Yeah. Or
Wow.
you resist it, it's still the skin trying to get out of the skin. Yeah. 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 Yes.
Thank
And
you.
yeah. So you're not going to hear from the snake. There's a different way. There's communication different than thought usually. Yeah. 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 So like that knowing that you're the mirror isn't brought about by only seeing the mirror and nothing else. You can know that you're the mirror while the mirror is having tons of appearances in it. Yes. There's no, all those ideas of requirements are coming from an appearance, not the mirror. Yeah. Yes. The appearance itself is making itself invaluable. Yeah. It says, I've got to not see any other appearances to be the mirror, which is impossible because that's what this program body action figure is to see things. Yeah. Good luck. Why don't you take a vow of, close your eyes and shit like that and go to obscene, absurd lengths? No. The mirror is the mirror is the mirror. Appearances or no appearances. A mirror, mirror, mirror. Yeah. You are what you are, what you are, what you are. Yeah. There's no reservations or conditions when that changes. Oh, it's so bad today. I've actually became what I'm not. No, you never, 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 never will or have or going to become what you're not. It's impossible. Yeah. Yeah. It's impossible. Wouldn't that bring about an assurance in your day? I would think so. Yeah. Now, that's not to be chanted. That's hopefully is a reflection of an assurance that's in you now. Yeah. Yeah. That you
Right.
have a sense that, hey, this ain't a race. Yeah. This is after the race. We've already won in a sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I, yeah, yeah. This isn't for everyone at any time. But obviously, you ran into me here. So here you go. Did I call you? No, I didn't call any of you. And here you are. So, I mean, I wasn't looking for you. You really wasn't looking for me. Something had us in store for us, and here you go. Yeah. If it fits, wear it. If it doesn't, don't. And just something to be appreciated. There doesn't have to be something you got from it. Yeah. You could have just enjoyed the time we spent together. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Eileen has her hand up.
Who, Eileen?
Yeah.
Hello,
Am I-
Eileen.
Hi.
I
Am
can't
I
see.
talking?
There you are. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I am, but are you hearing? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. I wanted to just say a couple of things. I so appreciate your examples. Like they just are such whatever, right? Like they really, they're very humorous and they're very direct. here to me. And then, so I really thank you for that, even though like you're not doing it, but that's what comes, and it's so awesome. And then the other thing I want to say is, I don't quite know how to even say it, but it's like, I guess I just want your feedback about this, that like, it doesn't feel like there are actually any other people or animals, or like everything isn't really real. Like it is, but it isn't. It's like everything I'm experiencing are just actually, there's only like me here. There's only
Here.
this isness thing. There's only this thing that looks like different appearances, and the different appearances can have like an impact on this physical body, like an emotional thing can be triggered, or you get what I'm like, everything is just either nothing or creates like a response in this physical being. And I don't know how to explain this. It's sort of, I don't know how to say it, but it just feels like nothing is real, like physically real. Like I know it's there, and,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I don't know what
That
to
would
say.
be a nice basis of traveling lighter. So you don't need to think much more about it. Just see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like a great deal of compassion, like hearing people's talking about what bothers them, or anybody having an argument, or anything that is experienced is is just seen, like you were saying, it's just part of the movie, as so is this one who's like in the movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter. It's just like, it's almost like an existential feeling, but there's compassion. There's like a sense of that person is very identified or appears to be really triggered by this thing, but I have like nothing to say about it. Like there's nothing to do but like love them kind of quietly. Do you get what do you kind of know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yes, I do.
is there anything you would advise? Because I just walk around, I feel a little disconnected, but not really. Like there's a lot of compassion,
Yes.
but there's also a lot of like much closer sense to animals and plants, because they don't do any of they're
Yes.
like a different they're just like a clearer, I don't know what it is, but it just feels like they're easier. Even
Yeah.
though it doesn't matter that, okay, I know I'm talking really weirdly, but I wanted to just hear like
Just,
what would you
honey,
tell.
it's nice when you get stirred up. You like to be able to capture it as the completed meal, but it's not. So it's just stirred up now. Yeah. You don't know what it is. It could be ciopino. It could be tomato soup. But yeah.
You mean when the body is getting reacted to something?
When you're all that you're talking about, uh, there's no conclusion to that. That's just you
Right.
have. Yeah. It doesn't mean it's going to stay like that, but there'll be a lot of shades in nothing that will be noticed. Yeah. That's the autistic event of us. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought at some point in the last week, I thought about something that you had said the last time I was on this thing, whatever this is, that you were saying something about like it's like um I can't even remember, but it had something to do with like an ocean. Like there's a lot of waves. Sometimes waves, there's like a sequence of waves
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and I felt that, like that came into my mind
Yeah.
as a memory, like, oh, Paul said that. Maybe this is like a surfing moment, or, you know, it was like waves are, it's
Yes.
very hard to explain because it's not like, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, yeah, because you're living it. That's great. You don't need to explain the living of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it's nice to share it. You don't need to explain it. Yeah. Everyone will feel it the way they feel it. And there doesn't need to be any crowning of what it is. Just you've expressed something. Yes.
and it's nice. I think what feels nice is expressing it in a place where the person, like, who appears to be you, understands it. Like I feel that you understand what I'm expressing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I haven't said that to anyone because it's too, I know not, it doesn't have a way to get expressed and land somewhere like I knew it would be if I told you.
Oh,
Does
good.
that make sense? Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So some of us, all of us, sometime or another, are playing the role of certainty. Yeah. So when someone's speaking about something that may have some fringe of concern and worry where the mental state is encamping, someone who hears it with a certainty brings an assurance. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. It's like holding the
Yeah.
space or something. Yeah. So someone can put out something they're not really clear about, yet in that holding the space, there's an assurance or a recognition of that. And yeah, it's a good sign, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. And more is going to be revealed. It always is. Yeah. Yeah. The real key is not to see everything as unreal with a certain sense that you are, but to have you included in what's being the seeing. Yeah. That thing
Yeah.
about the guy in the movie theater recognizing the movie's not real, but has a certain sense that he's real. Yeah.
Right.
Is is in the bigger movie. Yes.
Yeah.
None of us, as this appearance, escapes the ring of the movie.
Right. Yeah.
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 So then you see that you're not a journeyer out of the dreaming, but you can be an artistic event in the dreaming, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to talk. Yeah. It's like it's like there's not a watcher here, but there's feeling, and it's much more impactful with like animals and plants.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
it's like there's no, I don't know how to explain it, but that's all.
It's
So
either it's either going to go two ways. You're going to become a microbiology scientist, or you're going to like bigger things.
I
you're
think
gonna you're gonna
I think
love amoebas and shit, or you're gonna
yeah, it's not like I'm that interested in any of it really, but
yeah.
it's a noticing, like I'm aware that what this body feels like around animals and plants has a different quality than if I'm like at Walmart, you know, or
Yeah.
or even if I'm just like with a friend, sitting here and they're like kvetching, or talking about anything.
Yeah.
I'm aware that there's a different quality, but it doesn't, it's okay. It's like, I don't know. I also feel like these are all me. These are all me, even the animals. Like
Yeah.
it's all meanness in these different ways of appearing to be here. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And you better keep coming back so you can share stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Oh, you're
listening.
welcome, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Victoria.
Victoria?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Sorry if my little guy in the background is being noisy. That was really incredible. I guess it brought up a question, I guess, and I'm trying to figure out how to put it into words. But what do I make of, I guess, of like purposeful action, like the events leading up to hearing this today? Just with what you were talking about, I was like with the snake and doing everything because of the snake. Was that, I guess, the outside influence of like the snake, or would that have been, I guess, what the soul is, or however you want to call it? I don't know if I'm explaining that well.
Well, in a way, just let it carry you away. You don't have to know why or what. Yeah. Yeah. See, one of the ways I found in this experience was knowledge about shit was a way of being withheld from shit. Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm luckily I've been struck dumb over the years, and yeah, yeah, I just sort of go with it. and
Easy enough.
and over time, yeah, it's hard to believe, but there's an intimate assurance without any concrete external evidence. Yeah, but there's an intimate assurance that things are well. Yeah,
Yeah.
on some level. Yeah. So yeah. And I don't care why or why not. It just sort of that's enough. That's my need to know level I've reached. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know someone's filling up the tank. It's not me. So, you would think if you stop at the gas station, you should fill up every time. It's not necessarily the case. Yeah. You get a couple of drops, a lot, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. But basically, if you want to look at the past, you can say if something was supposed to happen, it did. And if it wasn't, it didn't. So here you are, seemingly. So there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your participation. Let's see. Anyone else on? No. I can't even move from this square. Is that it? I've lost some of the people. I can't move from this square. Here we go. All right. There they are. So anyone else have a question or anything? Oh, we have
John.
we have 7 minutes.
John, 7 minutes.
John W., it's all yours.
Hey, Paul. So I think this is kind of starting to work itself out for me, but I kind of hit, and I hit a point in my life here where, I've been doing this searching for a long time, and I feel like I've been living it as well as I can. Did the course for many years, and I've been working with, Awakening Together for about half year now, and digging that and everything. But I retired, right? I got everything I wanted. Well, I don't know if I got everything I wanted, but I got everything I need right now. And I think my ego is just freaking the shit out right now. And what it's like is it's just like what you said. It's the skin telling the snake, yeah, you really got to do this differently. You got to be more aware of me. I've got all this time and I don't know what the fuck to do with it. And I'm listening to my own bullshit. And I'm getting a little clearer. I mean, I'm starting to hear it, but I'm waiting for it to release.
Do some service, bro. John. Do some service. Put the action figure into the service of others. Not maybe family, but strangers. Yeah. A lot of action figures need a sense of fulfillment and purpose. So, yeah, service is a good way to fulfill those needs. Yeah.
Yes, I was talking to a friend about that, and he brought that up too. And
yeah, most definitely, because in a way, you have too much time to offer to the head. You need to have it offered somewhere else. Yeah, because the head's gonna occupy it.
Right.
And yeah. It's like massaging the sphincter muscle, ready for your head to go up the ass itself. So
yeah, it's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Knowing that, service. I had told the story here before. I'll do it now quickly. My mom, when she got older, she became incapacitated, and it wasn't good for her to live on her own. So my older siblings put her into a nursing home, and I would visit Long Island, and I would see her. I'd go there, and she'd always want me to bring a 6-pack of beer, but I wouldn't do that and stuff. And so I saw her, and they'd wheel her out. She was in a wheelchair. Yeah. They'd wheel her out, and I'd be in the lobby, and I'd see my mom. She looked just like she always does. And then this one day they wheeled her out, and she was bright, man. She was really bright and so alive. And she had just gotten off the phone, and she had a service of calling people who are shut-ins that don't get out. Yeah. And she had this like phone tree, and she would call them up to say hello, and they talk, and they feel a connection. And she was just blissed out by the service. Yeah. Yeah. It made a profound impact on me. It did that day. I never forgot it. And then life had in store for me, bringing me into addiction and recovery from that. And one of the main planks of recovery is service, because the habit of self-centeredness is to cave in on itself. Yeah. It's got its orbit wants to just tighten more and more up. And sometimes you can't just think your way out of that orbit. You got to be pulled out of it with an action. Yeah. And service is such an easy way to get a sense of relief from the bondage of self. It is. I mean, it's got a very good high success rate. And instead of trying to think yourself through reading another book or listening to another talk, just do something. Yeah.
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 Right.
And then report back if you like. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff to do now around this season, because like we have here, like cloth jackets and coats for people, yeah, who are living on the street, wintertime. So you look around, I have tons of coats and jackets. So you put some together, you drop it off at a place, yeah. Some church has a giveaway, and then maybe you stay and unpack the boxes, and you just get involved a little, yeah. You're not writing a contract, you're just being helpful, and yeah. So
Right.
yeah, I would give that, bro. And then come back and tell us how it went, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I think it's time to say goodbye. Yeah. Let me see if I can get out of here again. All right. Well, I see Connie. Always nice to see you, hon. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Remember, you're listening to the skin as the snake. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Actually, you're hearing the skin as the snake. You're listening to the skin as the skin. They're hugely different, hearing and listening. So, yeah. All right, we got Eileen. Eileen, thank you so much. We got, no one knows it, but there's three Long Islanders in the Zoom today. That's a little bit, 4 or more changed the whole fucking equation. Like we used to say, 18 people from all around the world go into an elevator. The one person that comes out is a guy from Brooklyn. So you're lucky you've survived. There's PK, Eileen, Paul H. Wow. I don't know who else is there. All right, so we got John W. Thank you for your share, John. George, sitting there. Yeah. He looks like he ate the canary. It's very nice. Yeah. We got Glenda. Glenda. Nice to see you. PK. Yes, he's traveled from Zen Bitch Lap over to Awakening Together. Like we used to travel from Rockville Center to Lawrence and rape and pillage, and then retreat back to Rockville Center, only to be arrested at the end of the week by the Lawrence Police Force.
Hey, 5 towns, right?
Yeah, the 5 towns.
Hey, great. Thanks for your pointings tonight. And it was amazing how you're able to help people with their shares, with some that, or have some amazing insight, the plants, the animals, not being able to come to a conclusion. I mean, it's just, it's amazing what you bring out in people. It's really, again, it's not you, but whatever it is, it's awesome, man. So thank you, man. Great stuff, man.
Thank you, PK. I think I'm going to increase your wages for showing up at these events. Yeah. We got Monique. Monique didn't say anything. I was going to ask you a question, Monique, but no. I'll save it for next week. Yeah. We got Ann. Nice to see Bailey Ann there. Kerry, he's in Hawaii. Yeah. Alan, there he is. Say hello to your brother. Yeah. I keep messing. It's Sina. All right. Sina. Fantastic. We got Chris from Mammoth Lakes. Stoke that little wood stove. It's cold here. Cold in Northern California. Rhoda, nice to see you, honey. Thank you for your reminder. I was actually aware of the commitment today. At 3:59, though I probably would have forgotten it at 4. So you sent me a message at 4:01. Thank you. We got Victoria. Yes. AT Radio Computer, Marisol, Jennifer, if I can't see you, I'm having trouble leaving this one square thing. Hey, if I don't see you, I can't escape, but I just say goodbye to everyone. We'll be here tomorrow. If you're interested in zenbitchlap.com, all the talks that we do weekly are on the event page. And yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks,